Alright, good evening ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV. Tonight, it is a military appreciation race for the Dirt Street Stocks for Next Victim Racing here, the guys. Tonight we come to the Volusia Speedway Park, a big half-mile racetrack, of course. An oddly shaped track, more like a bit of a D-shaped track, if you will. The drivers getting set for qualifying in just about a minute's time. Of course, I want to welcome you all to Ultimate Dirt TV. Of course, my name is Brett Wheeler in the broadcast booth for you tonight. Yes, we are live on YouTube and Facebook tonight. We're going back to the dual streams. So we hope you enjoy the coverage on what these guys will put out onto the racetrack. Of course, like I said, qualifying just about to start. Little quick driver's briefing going on right now. We'll bring up the top 10 in screen. In fact, that won't work. How about top 5 down the bottom? So at the moment, Ronald Heaton is your fastest driver on the racetrack with a 19.963. The second or the only second driver into the 19-second bracket is Daniel Stifler with a 19.983. Of course, when we go back to Matthew Everts with a 20.007. Of course, then you go back to Nathan Meadows, who is just 1/1000th of a second off breaking into the top 3 with a 20.008. And then Larry Barber Jr. rounding out the top 5 with a 20.012. Times are very, very close at the moment. And with that being done, qualifying is almost upon us right now. So I thank the guys from Next Victim Racing putting on the street stock race. Of course, registration cut off last Friday. As it is now time for qualifying here at the Volusia Speedway Park. Who will put their car on pole for tonight's 60-lap main event around the Volusia Speedway Park? Who will be crowned the military appreciation race champion? Of course, next week I believe they are doing the Dirt Street Stock Nationals at the Knoxville Raceway. Not sure whether we are going to be on the coverage or that on that or not. We'll have to talk with the guys at Next Victim Racing, of course. Big thanks to Keith Moody and everyone behind the scenes that is making all this possible right now. Of course, let's bring up your top 10 in qualifying right now. Corey Stansell with a 20.074. Larry Barber Jr. with a 20.102. Matthew Everett, third quick with a 20.126. Keith Moody in fourth with a 20.212. Ronald Heaton jumps straight to the top of the speed charts with a 20.066. Stansell still in second, Evans third, Barber fourth, and Trace Williams rounding out the top 5 with a 20.145. And in fact, Trace Williams goes to position 4. Jim Revis in car number 21 with a 20.159. Alex Cummings in the 631 jumps to position 3 with a 20.083. Try and get some drivers that are still on the racetrack. Of course, you're watching Alex Cummings at the moment in the 631. Can he go better than 20.083? No, a little slow. In fact, 0.011 of a second slower on lap number 2. Kyle Bethel in car number 31 sitting 7th quick with a 20.115. And you are looking at less than a 10th between your top 8 drivers. Of course, Jim Revis pulling up on the back straight away. His best lap time was lap 2 with a 20.147. Daniel Stifler in car number 71. His first lap a 20.157. Again, just under a 10th slower than tonight's fastest qualifier, Ronald Heaton, with a 20.066. Daniel Stifler's second lap is going to be a little bit slower again with a 20.219. Tyson Pankow, currently 12th quick with a 20.196. Let's see if he can improve on that one or not. And if there's a few guys in chat, if we can let us know how the mic levels are, how the sounds are, and making sure everything is a-okay. Tyson Penkow will not get a second time lap contact with the wall, so that'll be the checkered flag thrown on qualifying session, and it is now time for your main event. 60 laps around the Volusia Speedway Park, the Dirt Street Stocks, the Next Victim Racing presenting the Military Appreciation Race. It is now time to take a look at your Wicked Cushion starting grid. In fact, it's going to be heat racing action first, so we'll get the heat races and then straight into tonight's 60 lapper. But of course, heat number 1, your lineup looks like this. Starting on pole in car number 14, that's Ronald Heaton. To his outside, the 631 of Alex Cummings will start in position number 2. Starting position 3, the 188 of Trace Williams. Outside, second row, car number 31 of Kyle Bethel. Starting inside, row number 3, car number 71, it's Daniel Stifler. To his outside, starting position number 6, the 527 of Marcus Brown. And your final row on the inside in car 121, it'll be Keith Moody, starting position number 7. And to his outside, the 17 of Nathan Meadows will start position number 8. Of course, a big thanks to our sponsors here at Ultimate Dirt TV. Without this, none of this would be possible. Of course, we want to thank Wicked Cushion. We'll be bringing you the Wicked Cushion starting grid and also the Wicked Cushion instant replay. So any incidences that may occur tonight, well, you bet your bottom dollar we'll have the Wicked Cushion instant replay all over that one. Of course, BK Designs as well. If you're looking for an iRacing wrap, a logo, anything with design work, check out BK Designs on Facebook. And of course, SimWorks Performance. If you're wanting to get into iRacing, you need a computer built, check out SimWorks Performance. They build computers specifically to run iRacing. And of course, Hazard Media as well. We'll show you the Hazard Media finishing results of tonight's races. You can check out Hazard Media on Facebook and on the web as well. Here we go.
Green flag, green
Heat
flag.
number 1, 10 laps on the board, and we are green. And Heaton and Cummings will lead the field down into turn number 1 and 2. Cummings on the top side of the racetrack. In the 631, he will lead off at turn number 2. The battle is on for second place right now. Kyle Bethel in the 31 on the outside of the 14. That is Ronald Heaton, your pole sitter. So the outside line getting the preferred start here on the opening up car into the wall on the front straightaway. The 14 of Ronald Heaton now moving his way into position number 2. Trace Williams, Daniel Stifler fighting it out for 4th and 5th on the racetrack. Williams on the low side. Stifler through the middle of the racetrack. There was contact with Marcus Brown there as well. You go back to Keith Moody and Nathan Meadows rounding out your 8-car field. Cummings will lead down the back straightaway. The fastest car on the racetrack is your guy in second place, the number 14 of Ronald Heaton, who started on the front row, or started on the pole for tonight's heat race. He is trying to chase down your race leader, the 631 of Alex Cummings. Bethel still into position 3, then you go back to Trace Williams, holding on to 4th. Stifler in the 71, trying a different line, trying to go through the middle of 3 and 4. Heaton starting to close the gap in on your race leader. A car length in it, which happens to be a 1/10 of a second. As it jumps out to about 2/10 in the middle of 3 and 4. Can tell you, Cummings has just turned the fastest lap of the race with a 20.065. He done that 2 laps ago. He's just turned a 20.099. Ronald Heaton is very close on times as well with a 20.071. Kyle Bethel, he just turned his best lap of the race with a 20.087. 6 down, 4 to go. Here on the opening heat race of the night of the Military Appreciation Race, the Dirt Street Stocks at the Volusia Speedway Park. Of course, live right here on Ultimate Dirt TV, live on Facebook and YouTube as well. 3 to go for your race leader, the 631 of Alex Cummings. Here is the 14 of feet now diving down low into turns number 1 and 2. He can't get the drive off the turn. That's where Cummings really excels. He's just keeping the momentum up on this racetrack. And that's exactly what you need to do on these cars. Through turns 1 and 2, your race leader still Cummings, Heaton and Kyle Bethel, your top 3. Williams in 4th, Stifler in 5th, and you go back to Brown, Moody and Meadows. That rounds out the 8-car field here on the opening heat race of the night. And of course, the white flag is out here on heat race number 1. 1 lap to go. Cummings has just got to fend off Heaton here for 2 more turns down the back straightaway for the final time. Heat race number 1 belongs to the 631 of Alex Cummings, and he will start on pole for tonight's main event. Ronald Heaton home in 2nd, Kyle Bethel in 3rd. 4th is going to go to Trace Williams, Daniel Stifler 5th, Marcus Brown, Keith Moody, and Nathan Meadows rounds out heat race number 1. Let's take a look at your wicked cushion starting grid for heat race number 2. And starting on pole for heat 2 in car number 33, it's Corey Stansell. To his outside, the 06 of Matthew Everts. And inside, row number 2, car number 54, Larry Barber Jr. To his outside, starting position 4, the 21 of Jim Revis. Starting position 5 in the 115, it's Coy Pennington. And to the outside of row number 3, car number 91, Tyson Pankow. And your final starter here in heat race number 2, starting position number 7. In car number 49, it's Eddie Underwood. And g'day to Robbie Andrew and everybody else that is watching the next Victim Racing Military Appreciation Race, the Dirt Street Stocks here at Volusia, and of course live right here on Ultimate Dirt TV, Facebook and YouTube. So we get set. Heat race number 2. Stansell, Everts, the front row who watch from the infield camera. For heat race number 2, we'll try and change them up throughout the evening. Of course, there is a lot to be done in the production booth, along with trying to commentate these races. It's a lot of work, but I tell you what,
green.
I enjoy every bit of it. Green flag out on heat race number 2. 10 laps the distance. One more time before tonight's 60-lap main event. And it's going to be Stansell to lead through turns 1 and 2. Oh no, there's contact. He does a 360, the 54 of Barber around. The 49 of Eddie Underwood caught up involved in that one, along with your pole sitter, Corey Stansell. Let's take a look at your wicked cushion instant replay. We'll take a look at the initial start on this one. Keep an eye on the 33. Got a little sideways. Everts, I believe, gave the 33 a bit of a nudge. The 54 got involved along with the 49. And that's the reason for the guys getting turned around at the start of this one. We come back to you live on your screens right now. And it is Matthew Everts, your race leader. Jim Revis started position 4. He's up to position 2 at the moment. Tyson Pankow sitting in 3rd spot. In fact, we're going to go on board with your driver in 2nd place, the 21 of Jim Revis. Jim Revis, your driver in 2nd place in the Evil One Graphics car number 21. A beautifully presented car here this evening, of course. Representing the guys from Dirt Warrior Racing. They race every Wednesday night, I believe. 5 down, 5 to go. Your race leader, Matthew Everts, still out in front. Jim Revis in 2nd. 3rd is Tyson Pankow. Coy Pennington in position number 4. Then you go back to Larry Barber, the 5th car on the racetrack. In fact, the 5th car on the lead lap. Then you got, of course, the guys that have found themselves back on pit road, Corey Stansell and Eddie Underwood. So they will start at the tail end of tonight's A-Main. Yeah, it's going to be 60 laps of distance as well. A lot of racing to come here from the Volusia Speedway Park. Of course, you're watching the Next Victim Racing Military Appreciation Race. 3 laps to go in heat race number 2. Pankow starting to close the gap in on your second place driver of Jim Revis. So far, Matthew Evans turned the fastest lap of the race with a 20.100. Similar sort of lap times to what the drivers were turning in heat race number 1. Of course, as the more laps that gets turned on the racetrack, of course, the track will start to change, and these drivers will have to start finding different grooves on the racetrack. Through turns 3 and 4 for the penultimate time, you race into the 06 of Matthew Evans out in front, as he's got one more lap around the Volusia Speedway Park to start on the outside of tonight's front row. He's got about a 4/10 of a second lead over Jim Revis, and through turns 3 and 4 for the final time, Jim Revis ducked down low into 3 and 4. He's not going to have enough. Matthew Evans starts position 2 as he gets the win here in heat race number 2. Jim Revis, Tyson Pankow, Corey Pennington, Larry Barber Jr., Corey Stansell, and Eddie Underwood. There's a little bit of a warm-up session here, but hopefully the drivers and the race control are going to get this one sorted. Well, we've got about 50 minutes before we have to get out of here and go pick up the old tin lid from school. Of course, I want to thank Keith Moody and everyone else that has made this possible. Of course, I did ask to have it move forward half an hour because, well, when you're on dad duties, you kind of got to pick up the kid from school sometimes, and wasn't really too sure if we were going to be able to make the whole night. So, big thanks to everyone that made this possible. So we are not too far away from getting set into tonight's A-Main. Of course, the distance, 60 laps around the Volusia Speedway Park. Jeez, I'll spit it out eventually. Of course, Next Victim Racing putting on the Military Appreciation Race, so wouldn't be possible without these guys. But these guys, well, if you want to run these dirt street stocks, check out Next Victim Racing on Facebook, or hit up Keith Moody on Facebook as well. He'll be able to get you sorted out on how to race these street stocks with these guys, and let me tell you, they're a good bunch of guys to run with. They're just lucky that I'm up here in the broadcast booth and also down in the production trailer as well, doing it all. Of course, A-Main time getting set to come up here in just a moment. And before we get there, of course, we want to thank our sponsors again. Of course, Wicked Cushion. You can check out Wicked Cushion, or wicked-cushion.com for all your dirt apparel needs. Check him out on Facebook and Twitter and all the social media handles as well. Matthew Henninger does a fantastic job. And speaking of Matthew Henninger, his birthday today, so we want to wish Matthew Henninger a big happy birthday. Of course, BK Designs as well, for another one of our lovely sponsors here at Ultimate Dirt TV. If you're wanting a new logo, or if you're wanting a new paint scheme on your car, whether it's iRacing, and you want to make your car look pretty, check out BK Designs on Facebook as well. Simworks Performance, we're going to give a big shout out to those guys as well. If you want to get into the racing side and you want to race some dirt street stocks and you haven't got a computer that will run it, well, head over to Simworks Performance, and he builds computers specifically to run iRacing. And our final and lovely sponsor here at Ultimate Dirt TV, Hazza Media. All the overlays that have been provided here live on your screen. He's made some tweaks and adjustments. Basically, whatever we've asked, he's been able to do. So all the overlays that you see on your screen right now. Big shout out to Harry Edwards from Hazza Media. You can check him out on the web as I think it's hazzamedia.co.nz, or you can check him out on Facebook as well. A little bit over a minute left in this warm-up session, so the drivers getting out onto the racetrack and just tearing it up just a little bit more, trying to get 2 grooves of racing here at Volusia, as the Dirt Street Stocks are looking to put on a hell of a show. And just looking at the lap times at the moment, the fastest car on the racetrack, the guy that won heat race number 2, Matthew Everts, with a 20.005. That was quicker than what he turned in the heat race. So track is somewhat starting to get a little bit faster, starting to get a little bit wider as well. These drivers are going to be able to keep up the momentum. Jim Revis sitting second, Daniel Stifler, Alex Cummings, and Marcus Brown rounding out the top 5. Of course, there is less than a tenth in it between your top 10 in this warm-up session. Of course, about 30 seconds, and then we'll take a look at your wicked cushion starting grid for tonight's Next Victim Racing Military Appreciation Race. And there we have it. The practice session is done. We'll take a look at your wicked cushion starting grid. Your feature race lines up like this, starting on pole.
Ladies and gentlemen,
in the 631.
to the main event.
It's Alex Cummings, and to his outside in the 06, Matthew Everts.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Inside your second row, Ronald Tootin in car number 14 will start position 3 to his outside, the 21 of Jim Revis. Starting position 5 in car 31, Kyle Bethel. To the outside in car number 91, it's Tyson Pankow. Fourth row on the inside in the 188, Trace Williams starts position 7. Starting position number 8 in the 115, it's Coy Pennington. Starting position 9, car 71 of Daniel Stifler. To the outside of row number 5, the 54 of Larry Barber Jr. Starting position 11 in the 527, Marcus Brown alongside the 33. Out of position 12, it's Corey Stansell. Inside row number 7, the 121 of Keith Mooney, and to his outside the 49 of Eddie Underwood. And your final starter, 15 cars in car number 17, it's Nathan Meadows. A big hello to everyone in chat and of Eric Eichstad. Shame you couldn't be here, bud, but we hope you enjoyed the coverage. 60 laps on the board. The Next Victim Racing Military Appreciation Race. It's going to be a long one. It should be an absolute barn burner. The time for talk is over, and we are green, and we are underway in tonight's 60 lap main event. Drivers continue to run side by side down the back straightaway in rows of 2 by 2. You race for the lead. Cummings and Everts. Cummings on the inside, Everts on the outside. Everts leads by half a car length. He will lead lap number 1. They are going at it behind him, nearly 3 wide. Revis on the top side. Now they think about making it 4 wide. Kyle Bethel in car 31, sticking a nose in front, or trying to stick a nose in front, as they went nearly 4 wide off of turn number 2. Everts continues to lead this race. Cummings, Revis in the 21. Or should go back to Heaton, Bethel and Pankow. That's your top 6. Pankow trying the outside. Of course, Trace Williams in the 188. Trying to get by up on the inside. Bethel slides up in front of Pankow. Williams had to get on the brakes. Tried to turn underneath the 91 of Pankow, but couldn't quite do so. Revis slowly closing in on your second place driver, Alex Cummings, in the 631. Heaton now, after setting quick time this evening, finished second in his heat. He's running 4th at the moment. And he's looking to the inside of Jim Revis. Revis shuts the door off at turn number 4. Nothing wrong with that right now. You battle for 4th and 5th. Heaton on the inside, Bethel on the outside. They continue to race side by side, although the 14 of Heaton just slides up and takes the line away from Bethel in the 31. Bethel way up top on the racetrack now, drives it back down through the middle of 3 and 4. 6 laps complete in tonight's 60-lap main event, so 54 to run. There is still ample amount of time for any one of these drivers to stake their claim in tonight's feature event. You're watching the 71 of Daniel Stifler and Trace Williams run nose to tail down into turn number 1 and 2. The 49 of Eddie Underwood as well, trying to make some progress through the field. Nathan Meadows started dead last in this 15-car field. He's up to position number 12. Meanwhile, Underwood looking down on the inside of Larry Barber Jr. Barber Jr. in the 51. Sorry, in the 54. Barber Jr. through the middle of 1 and 2. We go back up towards our second place battle right now. Cummings holding off Revis and also Ronald Heaton as well. Fastest lap of the race so far belongs to Kyle Bethel, who's sitting in position 5 with a 20.021. So the 31 is starting to get a wriggle on. Very tough to make a pass at the moment. 10 down, 50 to go. 31 of Bethel getting very close to the left rear quarter of the 14 of Ronald Heaton at the moment. Heaton getting a little too sideways. From the look of it, you need to keep these cars as straight as possible. Nice and smooth through turns 1 and 2. Your race leader still the 06 of Matthew Everts. Cummings in second, then Jim Revis in third in the 21. You can see just on the right hand side of your screen now. Being chased hard by the 14 of Ronald Heaton and Kyle Bethel. So a lot of these drivers, there's about 5 or 6 in the 20.0s. There's a handful of drivers in the 20.1s, and you've got a few drivers in the 20.2, so a very, very even field spread out here tonight. When you look at, fastest lap times throughout the feature event, there's about less than 2/10 in it. On board with the driver in 5th place, the 31 of Kyle Bethel. Just see how close he is getting to the back bumper and the left rear quarter panel of the 14 of Ronald Heaton. We watch the 21 of Jim Revis in third. So no change to those drivers just yet. Underwood, we go back to 10th and 11th at the moment. Underwood now looking on the inside of the 54 of Larry Barber Jr. into 3 and 4. Underwood, he's stuck a nose in. He's got half a car on him off at turn 4. It's going to be Barber to power back around the outside. So it's all about that run coming off at turns 2 and 4. You keep the car straight, you keep the momentum up, and well, you're going to have not many troubles in getting past. And as I say that, here comes a slide job from the 49 of Eddie Underwood. And Barber just gives a little bit of a nudge just to say, hey, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. Here we go. Battle on for second and third right now. Well, Revis, he's making it 3 wide on the top side. Cummings through the middle, and the 14 of Heaton down low. Oh, not sure what happened to Cummings, but a big mistake there, and it's going to cost him 1, potentially 2, could even be 3 spots by the time the next couple of laps comes around, because Kyle Bethel, he's there as well, but the 21 of Jim Revis, he's now up to position number 2, and we've got a yellow on the racetrack. The 33 of Corey Stansel. We'll take a look at your Wicked Cushion instant replay. So we take a look here at your Wicked Cushion instant replay. The 33 just getting a little too sideways in turns 3 and 4. And of course, stuck there. He had no choice but to reverse back up the racetrack. And of course, you see the leaders coming there. So there's the reason for the first caution of the night. As we come back live to you from the Volusia Speedway Park, you're watching the next Victim Racing Military Appreciation Race, the Dirt Street Stocks at Volusia. 20 down and 40 to go, so 1/3 of the race completed, and our first yellow of the night. That just goes to show that the respect that these drivers have for each other and how clean they can race. And well, had he not reversed up the racetrack, we still probably would have more than likely would have been green flag racing. But when you're stuck in the wall like that, you've got no choice but to reverse back up out of the racetrack and get your car going again. Just one of those things, and I tell you what it does do. It brings the field into double file. The double file restarts, and of course, well, we've seen what the outside row did on that initial start, i.e. Matthew Everett's got a great start. And along with... I'm trying to think who started 4th in that one. I've just had a mind blank. Jim Revis started 4th. Alright, so he got a good start on the outside. Here we go. 22 complete when we go green flag racing. This time by Pace Truckers in. Matthew Everett, Jim Revis. Matthew Everett gets on the gas. And we go back to green flag racing here at Volusia Speedway Park. And Everett jumps straight to the top side in turns 1 and 2. Revis closely in behind him as these drivers go 3 wide off for turn number 2. Heaton was in that battle. Bethel down low. Now you throw in Pennington. It is getting dicey up the front. And in the mid-pack of this race, Stifler looking to make some leeway through the middle as well in car number 71. He's in about that 7th spot on the racetrack. Meanwhile, Revis, well, he thought he might have had a bit of a run on your race leader and turned it down low. Driver in 4th, Corey Pennington. Oh no, Pennington around, and it's just a pile-in. Oh man, yellow, yellow, yellow. We'll take a look at your Wicked Cushion instant replay, but we've seen that happen live. Watch the drivers coming off at turn number 4 at the moment. You're watching the Wicked Cushion instant replay. Keeping an eye on the 115, just gets a little bit of a tap. You get a little bit sideways. In fact, it started, the 115 got into the side of Heaton. And that checked the 115 up a bit. Kyle Bethel coming through also had nowhere to go. We'll take another look at that one. In fact, we'll go on board with the 115. You see just there, there's the contact. And then of course, well, Bob's your uncle and the rest is history. And unfortunately, the yellow flag will fly one more time around the Volusia Speedway Park. As we come back to you live behind the iRacing official pace truck, getting to the halfway stage of this race. Man, it is busy on the racetrack. So the lights turn off on the R-Racing official pace truck. We get set to go back to green flag racing. Matthew Everett's got a great jump on the driver on the outside in car number 21 of Jim Revis. Can he do the same again on this restart? Time will tell. As the drivers slowly pace down the back straightaway. Ronald Hinton and Kyle Bethel, row 2. Tyson Pakeout, Eddie Underwood, row 3. Larry Barber, Daniel Stifler, row 4. Keith Moody, Marcus Brown, row 5. Coy Pennington, Nathan Meadows, Alex Cummings, Trace Williams, and Corey Stansell 1 lap down. Green flag is back out. Pace truck is in, and Matthew Evans once again will lead the field down the front straightaway into 1 and 2. And just like he did on the previous restart, he gets to the top side of the racetrack. Oh no, car into the wall! Marcus Brown in the 527. You've seen it happen. In the background as the drivers were coming out of turn 2. We'll take a look at the wicked cushion instant replay. Here we go. This was the restart here. Keep an eye on Marcus Brown in the 527. Oh, just got caught up there with the 121 of Keith Mooney, and they were just racing for position. Well, they say cautions breed cautions, and we've just had 3 quick cautions. So we're going to come back to you live, so you've just seen the accident happen there on the wicked cushion instant replay. We're back live, pacing behind the R-Racing official pace truck. We've just clocked over to the halfway stage of tonight's race. 30 down and 30 laps to go. So Matthew Everts, he has led every single lap of tonight's race. He's looking to clean sweep the whole night. In tonight's feature event, of course, picked up a heat win, qualified 4th. So not the perfect night, not a sweep, because obviously the sweep would mean qualifying your heat win and then of course the A main. But as far as trying to lead all the laps, he's done a very good job of leading them all under the green flag racing conditions so far. Keep an eye on the 06 to go a little early. As the pace truck is in, he'll go in the middle of 3 and 4. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to predict the countdown. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take that as a win, because that was goddamn near close. I'll tell you what. Everts, like he's done on the previous starts, straight to the top side. Revis through the middle. Oh no, contact. Coy Pennington and the 17 of Nathan Meadows, but they keep it going. And look at your battle for the race lead. 2 wide, nearly 3 wide. There we go. Oh no! Everts and Revis make contact. Everts collects the wall on the front straightaway. Jim Revis will lead that lap, and he takes the race lead away from Matthew Everts. A great restart by the 21. We got contact in 1 and 2. Evans trying to make it work again through the middle of the racetrack, but he's got Heaton on his inside. They nearly run 3 wide down into turn number 1 and 2. Evans looking for the slide job. Oh no, caution, 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 a car stuck up on the infield. I believe that is Alex Cummings and Corey Stansell. In fact, the 631, yes, that is Alex Cummings. We'll take a look at your wicked cushion instant replay. So the 631, this is in the back half of the field. So all the action happening in turn 1, he just got a little too sideways, got a bump from the 17. And there was the contact that I was talking about early on. And unfortunately for Alex Cummings, he started first and he got his rear end stuck up on the wall. You see, of course, the 188 of Trace Williams trying to give him a bit of a helping hand to get off that wall as the leaders were coming around. And that is the reason why the yellow flag will fly one more time around Volusia. I'll tell you what, how about Jim Revis? He got the restart of a lifetime. He waited for Matthew Evans to make the mistake. He got to the lead. They went 3 wide for the race lead. He led a lap or two, but now succumbs back to the 06 of Matthew Evans. Matthew Evans back in position number 1. Jim Revis in second. Ronald Heaton in third. Kyle Bethel in fourth. Eddie Underwood rounding out the top 5. Tyson Pankow, Larry Barber Jr., Corey Pennington, Keith Moody, Marcus Brown, your top 10. Nathan Meadows, Trace Williams, Corey Stansell is 1 lap down. Alex Cummings is 3 laps down. And of course Daniel Stifler, well, he has parked the car inside the trailer. As now we go to single file restarts. So race control not happy with how the double file restarts have played out. So it's going to be tough for Jim Revis to once again find the speed, time the restart to try and get by the 06 of Matthew Evans. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. He's off and underway. Oh, the 91 of Pankow getting a little bit of a bump there, coming off of turn number 4. Down to the low side. As we watch the 14 of Ronald Heaton in position number 3 at the moment. Eddie Underwood under pressure from the 91 of Pankow. Pankow on the inside. Almost catches the tyre barriers off at turn number 4. And now they go 3 wide with Larry Barber and Corey Pennington into turn number 1 and 2. It's a battle for 6th spot on the racetrack. Drivers sitting in 6th, 7th and 8th. 3 wide down the back straight away. The battle for 2nd now starting to heat up. Heaton in the 14 continuing to run the low side. Revis up top. Tucked himself behind your race lead, and a slide job from Eddie Underwood on Kyle Bethel. And Eddie Underwood now moving up to position number 4. Starting to make some moves in that 49 machine. Started position 14. And at the moment is sitting probably in tonight's hard charger position. Picked up 10 spots at the moment. Heaton on the inside. Oh no, yellow, yellow, yellow. Believe that might be Corey Stansell. We'll take a look at your wicked cushion instant replay. As you're watching the replay of the 33. Oh, just catches the tyres on the exit of turn number 4 on the inside wall. And of course, unfortunately, was trying to get off the racetrack, and of course, cars coming behind him, and that triggers the caution again. So we come back to you live from Volusia. The Dirt Street stocks in action, 60 laps the distance, 43 at the moment. 43 laps complete with 17 to go. So lights still flashing on that iRacing official paint truck, so we'll have 15 to go when we get the green flag in a couple of laps time. As Nathan Meadows, a customer for the SimWorks Performance and one of the sponsors here at Ultimate Dirt TV, sitting in position number 11 at the moment. I believe he started dead last in 15th and at least made up a few spots, so doing the best that he can. And a big shout out to Brian Antonio in the chat. Lights are out on the pace truck. Matthew Evans continue to pace this field. Down the back straight away. As we get set to go green flag racing. Can these drivers, they had such an awesome start with about 15 or 16 laps before the first caution flag came out. And from there on, well, we've seen about 4 or 5 cautions. Can these drivers, can they finish the 15 laps out? We'll find out. As the 31 of Kyle Bethel, well, he almost got the jump on Eddie Underwood on that start, but they go 3 wide. Look at Pennington on the low side. Pankow on the top side. Bethel through the middle. Underwood now under siege from behind. Here comes Pennington on the inside, looking for 4th spot. Sticks a nose up underneath the 49 going into turn number 1 and 2. Oh, sliding up. Oh, there's contact, but they keep it going. Underwood got into Heaton. Underwood and Pennington, they made contact in 3 and 4. Underwood trying to shut the door going into turns number 1 and 2. Look at Heaton continuing to run the low side off for turn number 2. Sitting in 3rd spot at the moment, Underwood and Pennington. They are still racing side by side, and oh, that was a little bit of a squeeze. Heaton, well, all sorts of out of shape. 3 wide down the front straightaway. Heaton sliding from the bottom through the middle of the racetrack, driving right through the slick, trying to get to the moisture on the top side of the racetrack. Here comes Pennington up on the inside in the 115. Matthew Evans, he is starting to check out. He has almost got a full second lead. It's out to about 9/10 of a second over Jim Revis in car number 21 in position number 2. Third, well, that is anybody's guess at the moment. Pennington and Heaton run side by side with Eddie Underwood closely followed in behind in 5th spot. Now you've got a 4-car battle on screen. Fighting it out for the minor placings and fighting it out for the top, for the rest of the four of the top 5 spots. Here comes Pennington, diving it down low on the inside. He picks up 1 spot. Heaton tries to drive back around the outside. 9 laps to go, so we are less than a heat race distance away from finding out who will be tonight's Military Appreciation Race winner. Matthew Evans, all barring a mistake and a yellow. He looks to have this one wrapped up in the bag. But this is dirt street stocks. Anything can happen. Jim Revis in 2nd. 3rd, you flip a coin between Pennington and Heaton. No, Revis made a little bit of a mistake in turns 1 and 2. That allowed Pennington and Heaton to close in on the back of that 21 machine. Oh, a little bump there from Underwood into the back of Pennington. Just some hard racing. 7 remain here in tonight's main event. Watching from the infield cameras right now on the left-hand side of the screen in the Evil One graphics, car number 21, that is Jim Revis. In 2nd spot, the 14 of Ronald Heaton. Corey Pennington in the 115 sitting in 4th, and Eddie Underwood behind him in the 49 running in position number 5. Matthew Evans has just got 5 circuits to go to pick up the dirt street stock win here at the Volusia Speedway Park. The next victim racing, Military Appreciation Race. Into 1 and 2, Pennington driving it in hard along with Eddie Underwood. It almost looked like Underwood was going to get into the back of Pennington. Pennington going to continue to work down low right up on that inside wall. And just a car length higher is your 3rd place driver, the 14 of Ronald Heaton. Here goes Pennington again, trying to stick it down low. 3 laps to go for your race leader, Matthew Evans, Jim Revis. 3rd, still Ronald Heaton along with Coy Pennington. Down the front straightaway into turn number 1 and 2. Gets inside wall was Pennington. Man, Underwood was close. Here comes Heaton now. Heaton working to the inside. Into 3 and 4. Coming to 2 laps to go. 2 sticks in the air from your flagman. Revis barely holding on to 2nd. Through 3 and 4. The white flag is out. One more time around the Volusia Speedway Park. Matthew Evans sees the white flag. And just as they come, oh man, this race will finish under yellow. Oh boy, oh boy. And it's the 121. We'll take a look at your Wicked Cushion instant replay. In fact, it was the contact with the 54 as we watched the Wicked Cushion instant replay. The 54 getting a little sideways. Kyle Bethel doing well to avoid. Of course, the 527 coming in hot and heavy. And then, of course, we had a separate incident just there with the 121. So you see the Keith Moody diving down low. And then had contact there. And I believe the 188. But we come back to you live. As I believe that'll wrap it up, because I'm not sure what happened to Everts here, but you should have finished up your race winner behind the R Racing official pace truck. So you're watching the final lap. This was just as they were getting the white flag. Matthew Everts with the win, Jim Revis and Ronald Heaton, your top three. And of course now with the yellow coming out just as the drivers got past the start-finish line. Of course that will screw up the result, but we know who finished in the top three. And we're going to chat with those guys in just a moment. In fact, to bring the driver that comes home in third place tonight, Ronald Heaton. Ronald, congratulations on a third place finish here. It was a good night to start off the night. You went quick time, you finished second in your heat, and you had a pretty good battle there in tonight's A-Main. Ronald, you got a copy? Alright, well, I'll tell you what. We'll go straight down into victory lane and bring it home, win the win in caliber 06, Matthew Everts. Matt, congratulations on that win. It was a fantastic drive here. It wasn't all easy, though. In the midway part of that race, you had some tough competition, and Jim Revis got around you. Talk about your race.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. I seen Jim there, and then on that restart, he got around me. Well, thankfully, I got back around him before that yellow came out again, so that helped me out there. And then after that, it was single file, so it was just kind of hitting my line and not messing up.
A couple of those restarts, Jim got a pretty good start, and you really had to fight for that top side of the racetrack. How important, was it to get a good restart, and get to that top side going into turn one?
It was pretty critical because you got to hit that top side to get that runoff there. I mean, you could do it in the slick, but it was slowing you down.
Oh, tonight's military appreciation race winner, 60 laps. I mean, it's a bit of a long race, when you think about it, dirt street. So, you're turning lap times in the 20 seconds. 60 laps around here, it's certainly a tough and a long enduring race.
Yeah, it is. I was just waiting for halfway, and then we had them couple cautions, and then there was 17 to go, which 17 to go is pretty long for in the street stock also.
Well done on picking up the win here tonight at the Volusia Speedway Park. But before we let you get out of here and celebrate, sponsors, shout-outs, who makes it all happen for you?
I'd just like to thank my teammates of Twisted Motorsports and thank my wife for letting me do this.
All right, there we go. Matthew Everts with the win. And, well, we'll go straight down the line. He leads a couple of laps, but it just wasn't to be tonight in caliber 21. Jim Revis. Jim, congratulations on second. Man, that was a fun and entertaining race, to say the least.
Hey, thanks, Brett. Yeah, it was a heck of a race, really. Thought I had him there, I don't know, about 4 cautions in, and I swung a little wide in 3 and 4, and dang near it went back to third.
You had a pretty much a battle all night, whether, it was running for the lead or running for second and third. I mean, this track certainly had multiple lines, and, guys were able to move around, on the top, on the bottom, and, were you surprised at, how fast the bottom still was compared to the top side?
Yeah, I took off and tried going up to the top side there, I don't know, about 8 laps to go, and there wasn't nothing there. You couldn't get no forward bite coming out. I had to drop back down, drop back in line, and it was pretty well follow the leader after that.
Those restarts, you got a couple of good ones on Matt there, and you drove around him. You let a few laps here tonight, but unfortunately you didn't lead the one that counted the most. But you know, how important was it to get a decent restart, especially starting on the outside?
Early on, it was good because the outside was where you wanted to be, and then it went back down to the low side, and you couldn't really get anything unless you went in high and then came out low, and that's where I was catching Matt on the restarts at, was coming out low there in turn 2, and then we'd drag race down the back, and then I'd get stuck on the bottom through 3 and 4, and he'd have the momentum on the high side.
Well, 60 laps, you come home second in tonight's military appreciation race. It was a long race, but you guys got there at the end. But, you know, before we get out of here, and, maybe a little bit of a celebration, sponsor shout-outs, who do you want to thank that makes it all happen for you?
First of all, I got to thank my team, DWR, Evil One Graphics, of course, that's me. Keith and Trace for putting this on with MVR, and you for broadcasting for sure, man. It's been a while since I've heard you. Great to see you back again, man.
Oh. All right, you got any more, or was that it?
That was it, buddy. I appreciate everything, man.
All right, well done on the second, Jim. Congratulations.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, so we are getting word through that third place was Coy Pennington. So we might drag Coy Pennington into the chat, and we'll have a chat with Coy home in third tonight. Coy Pennington, Coy, congratulations on a third. It was a tough race in the end, and man, you guys battling for second, third, fourth, and fifth. That was getting very entertaining towards the end of that race.
Yeah, the last 20 laps. Well, once it slicked off, it was hard to find grip. It was pretty much wherever you got to run, you had to take it, and sometimes ran in the back of someone else, or you got ran over. So, yeah, I was trying to get around 14 car for a while and got by him, and then I messed up myself and had to take what I could.
Start on the outside of the fourth row. It looked like the outside row got a fairly decent start. Would you prefer to start on the top or the bottom at the start of the race? Where was your preference in, starting and where you wanted to run?
Start of the race, it doesn't really matter as long as you make it to the end. 20 to go, I'd rather be up top because that seemed to be the line to get a good jump on the restart.
Well, talk about moving your way through the field, especially those last sort of 15 to 20 laps where you guys went green. It must have been nice to race close with these guys and not really get turned or anything like that.
Yeah, it always is. This fast group of guys helps that this has always been fixed, and it brings out the drivers, and you don't have to worry about someone out setuping you or having a better setup than you. So yeah, it's just this is real tough driving, especially because top was fast, the bottom was fast. If you can make something work, you had to stick with it, and it was hard to because you always had other lines that were fast. You just had to stick with what you knew.
Well, you started 8th, you come home 3rd. Congratulations on that one. But before we let you get out of here, who do you need to thank? Any sponsors, shout-outs? Mike's yours.
I appreciate it. Ashton Racing, Exige Designs, DEFCON Premium Detailing, and Colby's Eye Paints for the badass wrap he got for me this week. So that's about it as far as I know. Appreciate you guys.
All right, there we go. Coy Pennington will wrap us up here in 3rd place. Our top 5 goes like this. 06 of Matthew Everts home in 1st. Home in 2nd was the 21 of Jim Revis. 3rd went to the 115 of Coy Pennington. 4th in car number 49 was Eddie Underwood, and rounding up the top 5 was the 14 of Ronald Heaton. Of course, because the yellow flag came out just as the leaders were coming, or leaders as they got to the white flag, well, it kind of messed the results up just a little bit, but it doesn't matter because we got the top 5 there in the end, and of course Race Control will sort the rest of the field out. Of course, we want to thank Next Victim Racing, NVR, for allowing us here at Ultimate Dirt TV to broadcast the Dirt Street Stocks and the Military Appreciation Race here at the Volusia Speedway Park. A big shout out once again to our sponsors, Wicked Cushion, BK Designs, Simworks Performance, and Hazard Media. Check them out all on the social media page, of course. And everyone here at Ultimate Dirt TV, yes, we are live on Facebook and YouTube, so if you're watching on either page, make sure you hit the like and follow button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the thumbs up on the video, all the good stuff here, and we appreciate you tuning in here tonight. On behalf of everyone here at Ultimate Dirt TV, it's Brett Wheeler signing off, saying good night, well done to your top 3, Matthew Everts, Jim Revis, and Coy Pennington. We'll see you next time.